Well, hello friends, I'm going to discuss about some of the various ways of being able to access soils information on the web. We've got quite a few options that are available to you. The first one is going to be Web Soil Survey, and you'll notice that the URL is websoilsurvey.nrcs.usda.gov. And when you get to this site, the first thing you do after you read the 4 basic steps and understand how to do this is you just click on the Start Web Soil Survey button, and then that will in turn fire up this map right here. And this page is your basic start page for Web Soil Survey. And the first thing you have to do is identify your area of interest, and you have several different methods of doing that. Your address, your state and county. We have soil survey areas, and you can type in that particular area, and using the soil survey area you can set the entire survey area as your AOI. Longitude and latitude, PLS, and so on and so forth. I am going to choose latitude and longitude because it's becoming more common for people to use it since GPS has made it quite a bit more aware of where you're at in the world. And so I'm going to type in the specific latitude and longitudes that I'm interested in. And I'm going to click View. And then what's going to happen is it's going to take me to that location. Well, I'm kind of zoomed in a little bit too close for what I want, because keep in mind these soil surveys were created at they were created at many scales, but they were digitized at 1 to 24,000 or 1 to 12,000. So when you zoom in as close as what I am, you're basically beyond the limits of the actual survey. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom back out just a little bit so we can take a look at this area. Give it a minute. Keep in mind you are using a true GIS. This is not tiled maps. We're calling these maps and these GIS layers as you click. And that's quite a bit what most people don't even realize, actually. So I'm going to select the AOI because I want to define my area of interest. I'm going to choose in here and draw me a rectangle. And now it's going to clip this area and allow me to use my GIS online to access the soils database and create maps and create reports based off of this area. And as soon as it finishes creating, you'll notice it's hashed. And I'm going to scroll down a little bit so you can see the whole map. And then we have these tabs up here: Soil Map, Soil Data Explorer, Download this data. So you can actually download this particular data and bring it into your GIS, your desktop GIS. I am going to first click on the soil map, show you that we have the soils map here, clipped to this area. So if you're coming in here just to do a really quick analysis on what's going on, you'll notice this EP map unit is well marked out because of the trees. I can come over here to EP and take a look at EP, and here is the map unit description, giving you some really rough information, quick overview of what this map unit is all about. So I'm going to close that on out. I didn't show you this, but you can actually click on the printable. Everything that you do in this tool, you can click on print, and you can go to and create a manuscript on this particular area of interest. I'm going to click on the Soil Data Explorer tool, tab, pardon me. And then once I get onto this tab, it now gives me the capability of creating thematic maps and reports. And the thematic maps can be on suitabilities or limitations, or on properties, either interpretations or on properties. So let's take a quick gander at sanitary facilities. This is one of the probably the most accessed. And then let's go to septic tank absorption fields, and then let's view this rating. And so we have interpretations for septic tank absorption fields, and you'll notice that the map comes up all red. Well, okay, that obviously there's something wrong here. We've got a suitability problem. But what are those problems? Well, below the map, and as I scroll down, you're going to notice we've got the table here. And so, yeah, these are all very limited soils, but why are they limited is the key. And you'll notice that we've got a saturated, basically a water table within this covert sand. It's a sandy soil, so it has a problem with filtering capacity. And then, of course, the bottom layer is very sandy, and so basically you have a leaching potential with this particular soil. And I can scroll down through here and I can look at all of the issues, and you'll notice that pretty much I happen to hit a sandy soil area, and all of these soils have a water table in them. And so that tells you right here that I'm going to have to design my system to be able to overcome those limitations. And as I told you, we can come in here and take a look at the actual description of this particular interpretation, and it gives you the background information on it. So there's a lot of information just on that one page alone that will allow you to be able to make a determination on what you're going to use. So that's one thing that we can take a look at. And let's say, well, you know, I want to look at what are the water table depths. Well, I've got a whole series of interpretations on the left-hand side in this Suitabilities and Limitations for Use tab. I can come over here to the Soil Properties tab. And over here I can click on the water features and I can say depth of water table, and I can view the rating for the depth of water table. And notice I'm looking at the dominant component, and I'm looking for the entire month. I could tailor these months and make a decision as to what months they are. And then once again, when I come down and I look below, I can see that the Grattan sand and both the GTB and the GTC have water tables that exceed 200 centimeters, which is 80 inches. Or I can look at the Roscommon, which has a 0, which means the surface, the water table is at the surface. Now, if I didn't mention this in the before one, but I can add this to my shopping cart. And when I add this to my shopping cart, yeah, you're used to people saying shopping carts are expensive and you got to buy them. Now, this is all free. What this does when you add to your shopping cart, every time you create a map, it allows you to add it to the manuscript that you're going to be building. And then at the end, you can go through here, and when you're finished, you go to the shopping cart, and you can download the entire manuscript of this particular area of interest, and all the maps and all the descriptions of the interpretations and the properties and everything that you went through here and added to your shopping cart gets included into that. And then last but not least that I want to discuss is the soil reports. And these are not maps, these are actual reports. And you can get a wide variety of reports that are available to you here. And you can see we've got quite a few different reports on interpretations and on properties. Let's go back over to the sanitary facilities, and here's the sewage disposal, and I want to view this report. Keep in mind this is a report now, this is not a map. And here is that same information that you saw on that map, and we can come down here and we can look at the Grattan. And it's very limited, and the reason why it's very limited is because there's a seepage at the bottom layer, meaning that the within the bottom layer of the soil that we've identified, it tends to be extremely sandy, allowing for the filtering capacity to be very poor. So these are various ways that you can access and build a manuscript based off of web soil survey information. And of course, many of you who are in consulting like to have that little report that's available to be able to integrate into your final reports. And that's what this tool is allowing you to do. You can create a PDF document and then incorporate that into your documents. So you have a numerous, I'm not going to go over all the different variety of reports there are, but there are a lot of reports on interpretations and on properties that you can utilize here. Well, that's one tool that we've got, and I don't want to minimize all of this, but I do have just a short amount of time on the video. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on the tab and I'm going to go to what's called Soil Web. I'm going to do a Google search on Soil Web. And I'm going to come over here to this Soil Web Soil Resource Lab. And in partnership with UC Davis, you can see UC Davis and NRCS have helped put this together. And here's the start page of it. And this one's a little bit different, more interactive. Doesn't have all the capabilities. These are two different products. I'm going to click on the menu and I'm going to zoom to location, and I'm going to use that same location so that you can see how easily these, or how comparable these two products actually are. And we're going to go and lo and behold, using Google Maps, I'm right there. And on this product, I can come over here and I can select EP, and over here it pops up when I clicked on that particular map unit. Here is the information on the epiphyte sandy loam, and it gives you a little mini profile of what that particular soil looks like. I can look at the clay content, and you can see that there's very little clay content. Look at the sand content, look at that sand content. And now you can understand why that thing sands out at the very bottom of that profile. And you saw seepage in that report. And that bottom layer is nothing but sand. So here's another comparable tool that allows you to come in here and take a look at this. There's a myriad of information on this. You can come over here to the series description. You can click on the series description, and here is the series description of that particular soil. And I can close this out. So you can see how comparable these particular web pages are and how useful they are. Here's my waste related, and I can click on the soil suitability ratings and I can look at the waste related. And you can see that when you're looking at sludge applications, which some of you would be doing, you can see that right here we've got land application for municipal sewage sludge is very limited. Now this one doesn't go into the details that Web Soil Survey does, but it has the same things as what Web Soil Survey does, it just displays them in a different format. And so I just wanted you to be aware that this is another very useful tool that is available for use. And then last but not least, I want to come over here, and some of you use Google Earth. And so I'm going to fire up Google Earth and bring Google Earth over into this location. I'm going to close out. And there is a file when you are on the Soil Web page. I want to show you Soil Web. There's a lot more to it than what most people are aware. And I'm going to come back over and do another Google search real quick because I want to show you this one file. And under the Soil Web apps, there's a Soil Web Earth, and if you click on this, what it's going to do is prompt you to download a particular KMZ file. And here it is. I'm not going to do this, but it's called soilweb.kmz. So I'm going to cancel this out just so that I can show you that's where it was. And you'll notice I'm using Google to search for these. And I'm going to add in, let's see, what was that? Pardon me. I'm going to file open my KMZ. There it is. And I'm going to do a search, and I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go to 94600 minus 84.42771. And I'm going to fly in to this specific area in Michigan. And when I fly in, because I'm using the soilweb.kmz application, let's wait, there it comes, pops up. Now I've got my soils information on top of my Google Earth. And once again, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit, because keep in mind I don't have an area of interest. I've got a point that I'm using here. And I'm going to, let's try the SC this time. And I click on SC, and this is a Saugatuck sand. And I hope I didn't hurt that name too badly. But once again, using the SoilWeb applications, you've got your profile colors. You got an idea of what these profiles look like. And these aren't the profiles at that specific point. These are based off of the official series descriptions. But once again, I can click on and bring up the information on that particular soil, and here I am in Google Earth using this instead of using the SoilWeb or using the Web Soil Survey. And then I can come through here and I can click on any of these applications. Once again, these are all comparable. There's no one better than the other. It's just that they all have a different purpose. So a Web Soil Survey is designed for building a manuscript of collective information for that particular soil, and you can then use it. Here you're seeing, for instance, let's go down to the we were looking at the septic tank absorption fields, and in this application the only thing it tells you is that you're very limited, and the range is very limited to very limited. There's a lot more information available in this Google Earth package, and you can explore it to your heart's content, but it does have a lot of application that allows you to access soils data. University of California at Davis staff has done a very good job of taking the NRCS soils information and repackaging it for different purposes and different needs. So you can see how Google Earth and how the SoilWeb and how the Web Soil Survey are all different tools that we've made available to the public to be able to access your soils information that we have created over the last 110 years or so. It's taken a long time to get these soils mapped down to this level, and we're the only country in the world that has the soils delineated out at this level of detail. And so we've done the best we can to be able to create products, but we're always looking for ways to improve it. And these are the 3 tools that are available to you right now as a customer of the soils information to be able to access it. And as usual, if you have any other questions, comments, feel free to let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you out and work with you on your soils applications. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoy these new tools that we've created for you.